Hello and good afternoon. And I'm just so excited that you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Wisdom from Within. Today, my guest, unfortunately, life happens, things shift, and we need to flow. And she's unable to make it today. So we moved into this new space, new conversation, which I find to be such an opportunity as well. She's going to come back next week. But for now, I'm going to share something that is really on my heart that I really want you to feel empowered by, empowered with throughout your life. Before I share this with you, I want to just welcome any new listener to this 30-minute conversation, which is all about the wisdom from within, tapping into this incredible, reliable, accessible voice within you that is meant to serve you. It's meant to guide you. It's meant to teach you and show you what feels good in your life, what you want, what you don't want, and what needs your attention. So often we push our feelings aside. We're told that we're too emotional, or, it just isn't that deep or that important. But the thing is, in my opinion, if you're feeling it, it is real. And it is not just my opinion, actually. It is the opinion of experts. There is a lot of research about the body's wisdom, and how the body holds memory and emotions that are meant to serve us in our life, instead of running away from it, because it can feel scary and overwhelming at times. Don't get me wrong. I completely understand, and I've lived it myself. However, when we can find that courage to really lean in and ask and start that conversation internally with ourselves, what do I want? Am I happy in this relationship? Am I not? Do I love this job? Do I want to stay? Does it light me up? Or doesn't it? Do I want to make a move of some kind? How am I really feeling about this loss in my life? Or this moment, or this conversation, right? Our feelings and the sensations within us are our guiding lights, and we need to find the courage and the comfort to pay attention and listen, because when we do, everything changes. We live from our truth, which is incredibly empowering. And what happens when we are empowered and we feel in alignment, connected to the truth of who we are? This is when creativity just sparks, and when innovation sparks, and things shift, and new opportunities arise, and our families and our children and our teams and our own soul is happy. So this is ultimately what we want, right? To live in that elevated place. Okay, that's a great segue to what I want to share with you today. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time explaining this framework that my book, Your Body is Speaking, is based on. I think this is so important for you, for all of us, because it really allows us to lean in to where we truly are, as opposed to trying to be something that we're not. So let me explain. The book is in a 3E framework: embody, empower, and elevate. This framework will serve that inner intelligence. It will serve by allowing you to be exactly where you are, by allowing you to give yourself permission to just be, as opposed to saying things like, well, I wish I was feeling differently, or why am I so upset about this? It really doesn't matter. Or I can't believe I just did that. That was really stupid. Or whatever it is, the judgment that we tend to put on ourselves. When we can move away from that and lean into acceptance, and then with that acceptance comes curiosity and a level of compassion, we can hear the wisdom, and we can choose then to let it lead our life. Okay, so embody. When we come into this world, we are fully embodied. We are a soul that is unapologetic. We are a soul that asks for what we want when we want it. We feel deeply. We cry when we're feeling like we want to cry. We are excited when we feel excited. We ask for what we want when we want it. And we do what we want in the moment. And we do that because we are pure and we live unapologetically in that stage, right? That moment of birth until life starts to happen. Whether it's parents telling us that we should be something that we don't actually feel aligned and connected with, or whether society tells us that we're something that we're not, or that we're starting to measure ourselves up against society, or we might actually have a really traumatic situation at home, at work, at school, with our friends. It's a whole gamut. We all have our own life experiences. And unfortunately, life takes us out of that embodied, aligned, unapologetic, free spirited place. It just happens. It could be a blip or it could be years. Everybody is different. So we get disembodied, misaligned, taken out of the truth of who we are. And so the work of the first E is about getting re-embodied, reconnected, getting aligned, lining up, stacking up our values, what it is we want, what it is we care about, what are we passionate about, what do we want to do, where do we want to travel, what matters most to us, who am I? That is what the embody phase is. And then once we're there in embody, then we move into empower. We can't move to the second phase of empower until we are embodied, because that embodiment phase gets us to really embrace our authenticity, our truth. And when we move into empower, we want to empower our life from that authentic, real, honest place. I hope that makes sense. So if you're someone at work, you're managing a team, let's say, and you're creating vision for the team. Where am I going? What are my goals? If you're a CEO running a business, right? Where am I going? What path do I want to take my employees, my team on? How great would it be if you could design that vision from an authentic, passionate place? If you didn't do the work of embody, you might design vision based on a book you read, which could be informative and great information for you to have, but not ultimately your stamp on the vision that's meant for you to design. So we want to get embodied so we're in alignment with the truth of who we are. And of course, take information from others, read books, do that kind of thing. But at that place, once you're in the phase of embody, you are confident to decipher that external information and those external voices and say, that feels good, that doesn't feel good. I want to incorporate that. I'm going to leave that one on the shelf, right? You're in that place because you know your values, your foundation is strong. So empower is all about creating inspired action and vision from an authentic, grounded place. That scenario applies if you're a parent. There's so much pressure. And I know because I have 2 kids of my own. And there's so much pressure from the outside world about what kind of parent to be, how long you should breastfeed. I write about that in my book. There's so much pressure. It's like if your kid is walking early, he's a genius. And if he's crawling, he needs support and help. And there's something wrong. It's just, the phases of crawling, walking, of when they say their ABCs, it's just ridiculous. There's all these measurements when truly every soul is on their own path and is going to get there in their own time if we just get out of the way. But I am totally guilty of this, by the way. So in my parenting phase, I was disembodied many times. I had to embody and then move into empower and start to raise my children from an authentic, grounded place of truth. But I could only do that had I returned to that first phase of embody. I'm going to get to that in a second. If that sounds a little confusing, don't worry. I'm going to clear that up in just a second. So we're embodied. Now we're empowered, and we are creating action from this empowered place. Once we're there, then we can elevate. Elevate is about service. Now you're giving back to the world. You are heart-centered. You are aligned. You feel empowered and excited and motivated. And now you are elevated. You are living in this elevated place. You have an awareness. You're able to hear what I call the unexpected teachers. I talk about that a lot in my book. The unexpected teachers. When we are in an elevated state, we can hear the lessons that surround us on a regular basis. We can hear, whether it's a person, an interaction with someone at a store. If you see someone crossing a street and you want to help them, witness them in their own life experience in that moment, every life experience becomes an opportunity to learn and expand and elevate even more. The elevate phase is also about presence, really being content. I feel content. I know myself really well. I feel empowered, and I feel alive and happy with where I am. I can sit and have my cup of coffee. I can read a newspaper article and not get completely hijacked and taken out of my body. I can hear about stories around me. I can look on Facebook. I'm all right. I'm not being hijacked, taken out. We've all been there. The beauty of the 3E framework, and this is the part I really, really want you to understand, is that this mirrors the human experience. It is cyclical. Once we get to elevate, it's not like, oh, okay, I'm done. This is a program. It's a fix. I'm elevate. I'm done. I'm elevated and I'm good. That's not how it works. It is a constant cycle. That's why this is a practice. It's not a methodology. It's a practice. It's a practice of how we move through the 3 E's on a regular. I'm going to show you this graphic because it might help you. So in the embody phase, we are restoring, right? We are restoring our intelligence, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Our intelligence, this innate body wisdom. I want to just share a little bit of my story with you about that. I'm going to share it with you right now because why not? That is a perfect example, by the way, of following body wisdom. Okay. I had an agenda in my mind that I was going to just go right now from embody, empower, elevate, which I just did, but I wanted to take you through with this graphic. But you know what? I want to tell you a little bit about my embody and what this restore word really means. So I'm just going with it. I'm trusting that my gut knows that this is what you need. Okay. I just wanted to point that out. So restore. This work comes from my heart. This work is so incredibly important to me because I see where it says awaken as well. I awoke my intelligence. I restored it because I will take responsibility for this. I allowed, as an elementary, middle school, high school student, I allowed society to hijack my life, my worthiness, my sense of worthiness around my intelligence. I was trying desperately to measure up to what society believed to be smart. Everything was wrapped up in SAT scores and IQ scores and grades. I didn't do great on any of it. And when I talk about this, it's like, I didn't fail, but I didn't do great. And because I was not connecting to the way the information was being presented, I created a story about myself that I wasn't smart. So I got taken out. And that's how I got disembodied. That's partly my story, right? So my intelligence was directly connected to my sense of worthiness. If you resonate with this, I need you to email me because this is so key. I do believe that a lot of us that question our worthiness comes from how smart we think we are. If you are one of those people, please reach out to me, because I get it. I get it. And I was able to restore my intelligence, awaken the wisdom from within, and be led by that to move to that next phase of empower, where I started to trust. Now, I'm just going back to the embody phase for a second. How did I do that? I had my rock bottom moment where I was just, I walked away from a once in a lifetime opportunity. I write about it in the book. And it was all because I didn't think I was smart enough to sit at a table. I didn't think I was smart. And that's actually not a metaphor. It's actually the truth. It was a table with John F. Kennedy Jr. I was invited to a dinner and I said no, because I didn't think that I was smart enough. Okay. So my rock bottom moment, I go into a lot of detail. It's a very interesting story and one I'd love you to read. So definitely get the book and check it out. See what you think, and email me and let me know. So that night was my rock bottom. And I made a choice to get out of this. I was done. I'm not letting this, deter me anymore. I'm not going to allow society to hijack my life again. Okay. I made that choice. And in this embodied phase, I did the work of realigning to my values, right? It's like what I was saying. We get realigned, reconnected. It's like stacking up. It's like the Jenga game, blocks one after the other, stacking up, stacking up. How did I do that? For me, in my story, I came into this incredible body of work by Howard Gardner and Daniel Goleman, two men, Harvard professors, psychologists that have done a lot of work around different forms of intelligence. And I resonated with kinesthetic and emotional. That's a whole other story. All of it's in the book. The point is, part of my restoring came from me needing to do research to get realigned and connected with my truth, with my form of intelligence, and to know that it was valuable. Once I got there, and that took years, that took about 5 years. Okay, I'm not saying the embodied phase is 5 years. I'm going to be clear about that. In this moment, for me, I went through a lot. Once you get to that embodied, yes, aligned phase, you can trust now. You can start to trust that inner wisdom, and that's all in the empower. It's about trust and it's about action. Okay. And then after the trust and action are starting to take place, you move into that elevate phase where you lead and serve. You are now the example. People want to follow you, listen to you. Why? Because you're honest, you're truthful, you're authentic. And that brings me to this. This is what the world needs. The world needs authentic leadership, embodied leadership. We all need it. Our companies need it. Our families need it. Our relationships need it. We need it. We need to be self-led from an embodied place. This is not something to dismiss. This is truth. We have spent so long in the mindset. Set up your mental attitude so that you can do all the things. Win the game, close the deal, have a successful presentation, get on a stage and speak, whatever it is. It's all about mindset. Look everywhere, mindset. And it's great, important, and it's missing half of the equation, an ingredient that our world is craving, and that's bodyset. We must bodyset. We must bodyset and ask ourselves who we are, what we want, where we're going, what vision do we want to create. We have to pause. Pause and presence gives you the information you need in that body set to know all of those answers, right? So the mind sets that up, right? We set up our mind. However, the body set is the physical and emotional information that gives that mental attitude the ingredients and the power that it needs. It needs that information. They need to work together. So this all is connected to body wisdom, right? I explained why it's so important, because as leaders in this world, and yes, you are a leader. You are a leader. If you are a mom raising children at home, you are a leader. If you are a CEO managing a team, you are a leader. We lead our life in every aspect if we allow ourselves. So I invite you to look at your leadership qualities, your leadership capabilities, how you are leading your life. When you wake up in the morning and you start your day, you are leading your life. You are being an example for your children, for your friendships, for your relationships, for your neighbor next door. Like, it is a choice to be that kind of example, to be that elevated human in the world that we need. We need these examples. And with AI coming into our world as strongly and as powerfully as it is, and it's an incredible tool, but it can only take that logical, mathematical kind of structured piece. It cannot create the emotional connection. It is our responsibility to stay connected to our emotions, to stay connected to that intelligence, so that we can match what AI is doing. AI will never replace what the human connection, energy, personality can do. So we need to remember that. We need to hold on to that, because without getting a little crazy, it's actually very dangerous if we leave the body set out. We have to bring it into the conversation. We have to realize that it's half of the conversation. We have to realize that this is not woo-woo. This is science and research based. And I have a lot of it in my book. So I invite you to buy this book. The book has a lot of personal stories, and I bring them into the book as an example to show you what I had to go through to listen to my body's wisdom. I share the stories to show you the level of insight that certain experiences in your life, how that can be intelligence that you use to elevate your life. There's also a lot of stories about my clients as well. It's not just about my stories. And then there's a lot of science, there's a lot of structure. Before I close, I want to end with this. That 3E structure, this is meant to show you that it's never ending, that it's a cycle. So give yourself permission, see where you are in the process, and know that you can move to the next phase. And know that once you're in Elevate, you know what? Life is going to happen. You might get a divorce. You might need to move. You might need to change your job. You might just feeling doubtful one day. It's okay. It's okay. This is the human experience. We need to give ourselves a break. We need to have compassion. We need to lean in with curiosity, so that every time we have to re-embody, we're learning more. We're deepening our wisdom. We're deepening our purpose, because all of it is here to teach us. So when we look at this through that lens, life becomes unstoppable. I'll end with this. The 3E framework, sure, it can be a long experience, or it can happen in 1 hour. When I meet with my clients in sessions, oftentimes people come in because they're looking for something, right? They come in disembodied, right? Misaligned, doubting, questioning, taken over by whatever. I get it. And then through that process, we embody, we empower, and we elevate. And by the end of that session, people are like, yes, I'm feeling good. I'm going to go do the thing. I got the inspired action. I go. I share all this with you because the 3E framework can happen quickly, or it can happen long, depending on what the situation is that you're dealing with, right? So it's giving yourself permission, accepting where you are in the moment, understanding there's a framework to hold you. And by the way, through the 3E framework, we use the power of gesture, which is my signature body set practice, right? I hope that makes sense. So I'm really trying to break it down. We got the structure, you know it's cyclical, and it's allowing yourself to like just accept and give yourself permission and know that you're in and out and you're in a flow. How do you move through that cycle? With my practice, the power of gesture. So I leave you with this. On Tuesdays at 11, I host a 30-minute free class. So come learn the power of gesture. There's a lot of ways to move through the 3E framework. You can meditate, you can dance through it, you can do all kinds of things. And I really invite you to learn this body set practice, because the body set practice is what gives you an opportunity to pause, question without judgment, just love and curiosity, and learn what it is that you need and where you are and what's supposed to be in your day and what you're supposed to bring to your team. Let me share this with you. Before this recording, I did a body set and I said, what do my listeners need to hear from me today? And then I saw the 3E framework and I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to go do. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Unless you have the body set practice, you can't really hear the wisdom from within often. And we need to hear it. And this is a way to do that. Okay. I am on a mission, people. I am on a mission to really help you understand this, help you restore your intelligence and sense of worthiness so that you can live in your full potential, so that you can go create whatever it is you want to in this world, so that you can be the greatest parent, the greatest CEO, the greatest manager, greatest friend, greatest partner, fully present, aligned, purposeful. I'll see you next week. Bye.